A native of Niagara Falls, New York, Jim Glynn's story is as iconic as the Maid of the Mist Corporation itself. As a teenager, Jim was working in Niagara Falls, but even at that early age, he felt a pull to the falls and the Maid of the Mist.
Well, my father started at the Maid of the Mist when he was 16 years old in 1950, after pestering the owner for a job. Dad was working at Louis' Cafeteria on Falls Street, and finally the owners said, okay, go down and see somebody, and that's how he got started at the Maid. I don't know that my father had any great master plan when he was 16 for the organization. I think he loved the boats, and he loved the park, and he loved being around the falls. And one thing led to another, and he worked his way through college, working at the Maid of the Mist, and just opportunity came along. And then he did, once he got more familiar with the operation and more involved, he certainly did have a vision at the time when he acquired the business.
He's still the little guy who worked his way up. He came up the hard way, and he, with his imagination and ingenuity, his drive, his energy to carry out this kind of a business, and that's now iconic, even though there's rivals, but nevertheless it's still the Maid of the Mist.
The Maid of the Mist is forever intertwined with the Niagara Falls experience. People from all over the world board the boats to get the awe-inspiring view of Niagara Falls. Marilyn Monroe, Robert Redford, Brad Pitt, President Jimmy Carter, One Direction, and Princess Diana, along with Princes William and Harry, have experienced the Maid of the Mist.
The Maid of the Mist is such a compelling attraction that it forces people to plan additional time during their stay in Niagara Falls. Who's going to leave Niagara Falls without taking the opportunity to take a ride on the Maid of the Mist?
When you look at the overall picture, the Maid of the Mist is a huge section of that picture for the economic stability of the area, for the huge name that the Maid of the Mist has internationally across all kinds of countries, and that is of itself a magnet to bring people to the city that can only help our city. Anytime that people come in and spend money, everybody loves it, and they're getting a wonderful, wonderful experience. In fact, for me, now I'm a little biased about this, but it's my very favorite thing at the Falls.
The great Jesuit Gerald Manley Hopkins talked about the grandeur of God. And when you ride that boat, you see the grandeur of God. And what's the response? Oftentimes the response is it's beyond words.
Despite the long hours of leading an iconic tourist destination, Jim Glynn and his wife Mary have always put family first. And through their example, the entire Glynn family is now making an impact on the Western New York community.
When you meet individuals like Mr. Glynn and his family, they're supportive of so many things, and they do it quietly. Like, I know he doesn't like the public attention, but he has for years given at a significant level to our organization. And in and of itself, that should be enough, but it's not for him and his family. He gives to so many things, and he has helped so many people in this community.
He's keenly aware of the fact that he's had success. He and my mother have had a lot of success in life and feel a sense of responsibility for those that have not been as fortunate as they are. And I think the culture of our company is one of a closely held business or family enterprise, and it's reflective of their leadership. In fact, in this office, on more than one occasion has said to me, when there was a particular issue related to a need, he said to me, "Chris, well, if I don't do this, who will?"
As the saying goes, a rising tide lifts all boats. But in the case of Jim Glynn and the Maid of the Mist, it is the boats that lift the community. He devotes his time, talent, and treasure to heart, love, and soul. And when individuals who needed health care had no transportation to area facilities, Jim created Van Go and Care Express for Mount St. Mary's Hospital and the Niagara Falls Memorial Medical Center, respectively.
His attention to the fact that there are individuals in our community who need access to care are the beneficiary of his generosity. He purchased the initial 2 vans in a program that we support with volunteer drivers to allow patients to access health care.
We need about 50,000 to hit the goal for the drive for the Catholic Charity. And I called on a number of people, can you help, and of course, First there was Jim Glynn, and with the biggest figure.
He comes in and he wants to know what's going on. I said, well, Jimmy, the truck is starting to get really elderly and we're gonna have to look at replacing it. So I'm gonna write a grant and hope that I can, get the money to take care of that. And he said, don't worry about that. We'll take care of the truck and you write the grant for something else.
And without individuals like Mr. Glynn, I tell you what, it'd be that much harder. His impact will be forever in Niagara County and Western New York. So it'd be very, very difficult to do the work that we're able to do without individuals like Mr. Glynn.
A 1957 graduate of Niagara University, Jim is a high-level business leader in the true Vincentian spirit. In addition to his philanthropic work, Jim is a community asset, serving as trusted advisor to business, religious, and government leaders.
It certainly is a tremendous resource for me as mayor. I mean, a mayor of a city like Niagara Falls has to be at some level an expert on tourism, and to be able to, when you don't have any particular background yourself in that area, to draw on somebody who's got decades of experience, but also this very deep dedication to the community, that's a tremendous resource.
Jim and Mary's support consistently, financially is one thing, but I could call Jimmy and say, Jimmy, gosh, what should I do about this? He knows who to go to, who to connect me with, and something will happen. And that's the kind of support and care that it's not as tangible as maybe the dollars are, but it is equally as valuable.
If you look at the Maid of the Mist and how he was able to develop that business, but even more importantly, he's just a person that you want to be around, and because he's so resourceful, and he's so rich in his faith and his ingenuity and the ideas that he comes up with and the way he cares.
Oh, the side that I know is his huge heart for the community, for the people of heart and soul, and his compassion, which is a gift to all of us.
For his work as a business leader, a community advisor, and an impactful philanthropist, Niagara University is proud to present James V. Glynn with the 2014 St. Vincent de Paul Award.